What's up, everybody? Welcome back with part 8 of the intermediate level mixing and mastering tutorial series. I am Clormo, and today I'm just gonna speak more about the importance about using delay, some recommendations of Logic stock plugins that you should be using and when to use delay, as well as some other sporadic effects that I want to put in some of the other tracks, and just as a matter of get you thinking of when to select the right effect for the right track, right? It's gonna be up to you, obviously, but I want to emphasize that through this video. So let's not waste any time and go right into Logic Pro X. This is what I had on the previous tutorial in part 7. 3 different aux tracks for 3 different levels and tones of reverbs. And as I said in that video, the same applies, the same philosophy can be applied for any effect, specifically for delays. So I only have one aux track. I'm not going to do 3. I already did that. You could check the other video to hear a little bit more about that philosophy. But I'm going to be applying this to specifically this track that I have soloed. And remember that in part 1, I gave you access to the project file so you can reference it there. And the first thing, if we're keeping it real right to the just stock plugins that we have in Logic Pro X, it's as simple. In my opinion, you're only looking at delay designer and tape delay. You can try the echo as well. It has its uses, but to me, in this order specifically, the tape delay and the delay designer to me are the most useful stock plugins to do delays in Logic Pro X. The tape delay I prefer because it's simpler to manage and it gives good results, especially for beats. And the delay designer is a little bit I don't want to say complicated. It has a lot of good presets and very good visual controls that you can manipulate that are analogous to other synths and stuff like that, right? But it may take you a little bit longer to get the desired result that you want, only because you have so many options that you can tweak that tape delay will give me a result right away quickly, and I tend to depend on that. So this example, I'm gonna talk specifically about the tape delay. I already have some settings. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail on all the parameters here because I have explained these many times before. But let's just take a listen to this track without the delay as it sounds itself. It's just a break on that beat, a little break as you go into this transition into the other bigger break. And now let's listen to that with the delay. It's subtle, it's not overdone, and just having this repeat infinitely. And that's the point that I'm trying to make here. Delay is something that's gonna give you more movement in your mix, in your tracks. It's gonna give you that sense of space inside the mix, specifically for vocals as well. It's something that you should consider be using it on vocals. And brighter instruments, I think, benefit more from delay, only because it's gonna allow for them to play better, specifically with the drums, which are mainly parts that have more of the mid to low range, and they have more of the energy of the mix than your brighter instruments with some delay and some reverb. Are gonna have that movement, that sense of space, and play better with the drums. Then on top of that, when you add your vocals and you put some delay, then that it gives it, that more of a punch, that more emphasis on, okay, so this is where the vocals are, this is where the instruments are, and helps define them better. In this example, all I did was very simple. I just cut some of the frequencies and made sure that my range was a little bit more from, actually I'm gonna make that a little bit more on the high end, more from the mid to the high. Just gave it 8 note delay time. Did a little bit of spread at 40. I actually gonna make the feedback be very low, something like 5. And then really the output section is what you are more concerned about. Remember that the dry signal is your original signal, so you want to have either a good mix of that or just make everything wet signal, which is going to be the exact delay just playing completely on its own. Let's just test that out. Not necessarily that great in my opinion. So I'm just gonna do that, kind of mix it again. Let's listen to that again. That sounds a little bit better, just a subtle result for that. And let's see, where else do we want to have some delay? I actually gonna put some delay on this transition parts here. Like if I do the same thing on that bass, I'm just gonna throw that into that same delay, but I'm gonna give it, gonna exaggerate the level of it. Let's see what that does for us. Can actually even go more. That tape delay. Yeah, it's actually dying with the, as the sound dies, only because I don't have the output set with the full wet signal up, so it's just doing like half of it. If I just change that to 100, this is probably gonna sound bad, but so it's important, again, that philosophy, to have additional aux tracks to control the delay as well on different tracks. So I hope that that's understood. Now, as a matter of just adding some other effects to start closing the video, as I said in the beginning, you start mixing stuff, you start arranging stuff, and you should start thinking about what would this track be benefit from, what effects would give it, again, movement, more presence, more sense of space, more like it's gonna belong better in this mix. What can I add to it to make it better? You don't have to go crazy adding stuff to everything, and I've said this before, but there's always things that you should be thinking about that you should at least try. It's like, for example, if you're thinking, so this initial part here, I think I said in the first part that I wanted to do something there. And why? Because that's like a distinctive part where the energy of the beat actually picks up, because that's where the drums come in. So I want to give it, even though this sounds good for the purpose of what it's doing in this mix, right? Like it's putting a pause before the drums kick in. I want to give it just a little bit of movement. Again, I keep using that word, or just give it a little bit more sense of ownership in the mix, if you can say that. Like, this track has a purpose, and there's something missing there right now that doesn't fully give that purpose to it. In this case, in this example, I'm just gonna try something simple. I was thinking about something like a tremolo. Let's just bring the tremolo I'm not gonna explain like everything that has to do with the settings at this time, but I'm just gonna set my cycle time, my cycle range, and let's just start playing with this a bit. So that's width. Doesn't really do much with it, so I'm just gonna make this, gonna give it less depth. Let's see. If I give it, that's kind of what I wanted, but it's weird because I was trying to fix this closer, this beginning closer to here, and for some reason it was just offsetting it. So maybe I'm just a little bit sleepy and can't do things right, but yeah, that sounds, I guess I was wrong. I really wanted my symmetry to be less instead of more. Yeah, and then my depth, I think if at 50% with a 16 rate, yeah, that's a little bit better. So let's listen to everything together. So that's width. Let's actually make this. So that's a little bit better from what I wanted. Let's make it less smooth. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, I apologize for the for the keyboard strokes. It's a bad habit to die hard, right? So let's keep that there. Let's see what else. I'm gonna go to my bass over here to my low end, and I'm gonna add a sub bass, and just with that, actually gonna make that center a little bit less. Up the ratio a little bit. So that's my high. I'm gonna move my low end a little bit. I'm gonna make that signal the output. Okay. But now I'm clipping like crazy. But it gives it a good tone. So what I should do is just add another limiter here and make sure that I'm not clipping. But if we listen to all of that, yeah, so definitely a limiter will be needed here so that things do not clip. Yeah, I have so many. I'm just gonna use a normal limiter and make the output level that. See, people have asked this before, like it's important in what order you have your plugin chains. Of course it is, because if I move the sub bass below the limiter, I'm limiting the signal before it goes into that plugin. So I'm going to be clipping again. So that's a good example there. I just thought I would share that. And that's it. You can, again, I just want to re-emphasize that the point, in my opinion, that I would recommend that you think about adding effects to your tracks is right when you are starting your arrangement. Start thinking and start listening and determine there, okay, at least I want to try X and Y effects on these tracks because I think they're going to enhance them. And if they don't, you just take them out, or you just turn them off, or leave them there for later or something, for a remix or for some other idea. But that's the stage that I think that you should be thinking about adding effects. And last but not least, delay, very important, giving you that more movement, more space, helping some brighter instruments and vocals to play better with the higher energy parts in your mix, which are usually drums. So I think that's very, very important. I hope that you got at least that lesson from this video. As usual, thank you very much for all those that have supported recently. At the point of recording this video, I think it was 760 something subs. So en route to 1,000. So I thank you very much, everybody. English and Spanish audience, thank you very much. I can't thank you enough. If you learned something on this video, if it was just a little bit, please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't done so. And if you want to leave a comment about anything that you have learned here, or something else that you want to share related to this specific topic, just leave a comment below. If you are a little bit shy that everybody sees your comment, just write to me on my social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my email, clormoindustries@gmail.com, or my webpage, clormoindustries.com. I'll see you in the next part, where I'll be talking then about automation and then closing this series. I want to make this comment. I'm going to take the opportunity to do it here. If you have stuck so far with me, is that unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because I want to keep doing this in English as well. I will. I'm not trying to say that I'm not going to do it, but I am going to go back and into that emphasis more on the Spanish versions, because really that's more when I'm getting the interest and the interaction. I want to build that community in the end also, where we can share ideas and I can share more of my life outside of the video. So right now that's happening more. I feel still happening more with the Spanish versions. I think I'm doing my best in the English versions, but maybe it's not enough, or maybe there's too much people out there at this point in time, and I need to grow my fan base little by little and then pick up back again with some of the English videos. So don't be surprised if I put out some topics in Spanish for a longer period of time before I make the English versions. But I'm not saying I'm going to be stopping doing that. It's just that don't be surprised if you see our ratio be a little bit biased towards Spanish for the remainder of the year and for longer periods of time. Okay, so I hope that you understand. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, people.